today I'd like to talk about Azure SQL Managed Instance. The Azure SQL Managed Instance is a relatively new Azure offering. It has nearly 100% feature compatibility with the latest on-premises SQL Server Enterprise Edition database engine, and it allows relatively easy lift and shift of on-premises applications to the cloud with minimal application and database changes. At the same time, platform as a service capabilities such as automatic patching, version updates, backups, and high availability drastically reduced required management overhead and total cost of ownership. Now, for the customer running older versions of SQL Server, I am happy to report that the Azure SQL Managed Instance supports backward compatibility to SQL 2008 databases. It does support direct migration from SQL 2005 database servers. However, the migrated 2005 databases will have their compatibility level updated to SQL 2008. A great benefit of choosing Managed Instance deployment option is that it will always be up to date because patches and upgrades are automatically applied immediately upon release. Also, you don't have to purchase, manage, or secure physical hardware. I think those two arguments in and of themselves are definitely great reasons for going to it. Now, Managed Instance has high availability built in and pre-configured using a technology similar to the always-on availability groups, which you know about from regular SQL Server. And this will provide a 99.99% uptime SLA. It also has automated backups and point-in-time restore. Now, with the Managed Instance, you will spend far less time on administrative tasks because the service will either perform these tasks automatically for you or it greatly simplifies them as compared to the on-premises version. The Managed Instance supports Azure Active Directory authentication as a cloud alternative to Windows authentication. It automatically manages XTP file group and files for database containing in-memory OLTP objects, and it supports SQL Server integration services, and it can host the SSIS catalog that stores those packages. The SSIS packages must be executed on the Azure SSIS integration runtime in Azure Data Factory. However, unlike the regular Azure SQL database that you may be familiar with, the Managed Instance allows cross-database queries, which again makes it more like what you're used to on your on-premises versions of SQL. There are two service tiers for Managed Instance: General Purpose and Business Critical. General Purpose is designed for applications with typical performance and I/O latency requirements. Business Critical is designed for applications with low I/O latency requirements and minimal impact of underlying maintenance operations on the workload. Server sizes can range from 8 to 80 virtual cores depending upon the service tier. Memory is about 7 gigabytes per virtual core. The maximum storage is 8 terabytes for general purpose and up to 4 terabytes for business critical. Oh, this just in, folks. As of 11 April 2019, Managed Instance now has a public endpoint. Yay! Before you could only connect via VPN or other from on-prem to there. Now there's a public endpoint, so we can connect that way. The Managed Instance public endpoint can only be enabled via PowerShell, however. The script retrieves or gets the Azure SQL instance, then sets the public data endpoint enabled to true for the AZ SQL instance. You'll also need to create a network security group with port 3342 open for inbound traffic. That port is currently the only port that Managed Instance can use for public endpoints. To access Managed Instance through the internet, use the host name in the following: managedinstance.name.public, your DNS name, .database.windows.net, 3342. Please note that port 3342 must be used for the public endpoint connections to Managed Instance and cannot be customized at this time. If you would like to discuss Azure SQL Database Managed Instance or have questions on Azure, click the link below for more information and we will be happy to discuss it further with you.